The war on drugs.
Hi everyone, Anthony Fantano here, the internet's druggiest music nerd. Album review time. The War on Drugs, Slave Ambient. You know, today I was reading some of the comments on my Watch the Throne review. Let me tell you, funny. Some people just don't get that this is opinion. This is just my opinion, that's it. You know, it's nothing more than that. I'm not right about anything. I might actually bet that I'm wrong. Just some people get so mad! The War on Drugs is a Philadelphia project, spearheaded by singer-songwriter Adam... And I was pretty excited about the build-up to this release, because this album is a very interesting hybrid of two styles, sounds that I really love. Tracks like Come to the City and Baby Missiles remind me of guys like Bob Dylan because of Adam's really rootsy drawl in his vocals. And folk rock, really cool. You know, it's hanging at the bar. And then all of a sudden on this album, shoegaze music and krautrock kind of come over to it and buy it a few drinks and seduce it and take it home, and then the three of them do things to each other that they'll never speak of. This thing is kind of the dirty secret that's just been let out now. And there have been a lot of psychedelic takes on folk music and folk rock before, trying to weird it out. One guy who I have to say sounds a lot like The War on Drugs is Kurt Vile, actually, who dropped an album earlier this year. So imagine my surprise when I was looking through the internet and saw that Kurt Vile is actually on this album. Kindred Spirits. I still gotta review that album though. This LP is not just your usual psychedelic take on folk music. The drums behind this record are very muscular, repetitive, and driving. Much like the drums off of one of my favorite records of all time, Noise' seminal Noise 75. Great record, with one rigid krautrock groove after another, especially on the second half. Every track on this LP builds into a wall of sound, a nice atmospheric wall of sound. Imagine Neil Young's Le Noise if it actually had a backing band behind it. That's how I kind of see this record. And though this LP can be pretty loud, pretty overwhelming at times, the sounds on here for me stay very pretty. This album really kind of glistens, you know? They shimmer. It's like watching a waterfall in the moonlight. And in the vein of a lot of krautrock artists, some of the tracks on this album get kind of strung out to like 5 or 6 minutes, making these long, airy, psychedelic jams. While I do love the concept of this record, I love the idea, I love the fusion, not every track is as stellar as the next for me. There are a lot of points on here where the sound of this record and the songwriting come together to make something awesome. Like Come to the City, which has these really heavy, primal drums that come on slow and build the track up with one climax after another, just making the song bigger each time. The vocal melody on the opening track, Best Night, really pretty. Really captivating. And Baby Missiles is where Adam on here gives his most enthusiastic vocal delivery, in my opinion. But sometimes on this LP, Adam's vocals either take a turn for the worse, or they just kind of feel okay to me, like I'm not getting a strong personality from him or something. I feel that way on the song I Was There. He's really off-pitch, kind of all over the place on that song. And some of the instrumental interludes on this LP, like the ANIMATOR, are really pretty. I love the way the horns are used on that track. It's very ambient, it's really gorgeous. But other instrumental songs like Original Slave and City Reprise, they don't really add anything new to the album. They're not bringing anything to the table that all the tracks before those tracks didn't already bring. And this next thing I can't really explain. I'm not sure why. It could have something to do with the way these guys recorded this album, but the grooves on this LP just feel really flat for me. I'm not really feeling any interplay or interaction with the keyboards, the guitars, and the drums. The momentum just kind of feels like, This doesn't really feel like I'm hearing a full band playing together, you know? I could be wrong. and I'm open to that. But still, the climaxes and the jams, I'm just not really getting anything out of hearing them go on for an extended period of time. I just kind of feel like I'm hearing the same thing over and over and over again. I just don't feel like I'm progressing with some of these songs. I don't know. I love the sound. I love the concept, and I love a good chunk of the songs here. I was just kind of left wanting more, and that's it. But overall, I liked it. I'm feeling a decent to strong 6 on this. Pretty enjoyable. But to be honest, what I really want to know is actually what Couch Chesta thinks of the war on drugs.
You know what I think? Legalize it, man.
I agree. Jesus.
Give it to me! Just do it! Do it! I dare you!